I already said I'm not fighting at 35. I'm going back down to 30. So if he want to come down, let's get it rocking. But I'm not staying at 35. I'm going to my weight. I'm going to my weight.
I already said I'm not fighting at 35. I'm going back down to 30. So if he want to come down, let's get it rocking. But I'm not staying at 35. I'm going to my weight. So I'm going to my weight.
I already said I'm not fighting at 35. I'm going back down to 30. So if he want to come down, let's get it rocking. But I'm not staying at 35. I'm going to my weight. I'm going to my weight.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So undefeated, unified, 3-belt WBA, WBC, IBF welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, Errol the Truth Spence Jr., who is widely considered by many to be top 2, if not number 1, definitely top 5 pound for pound best fighters in the world, and now is a promoter with Man Down Promotions. He goes in on former super featherweight title contender turned lightweight title contender, now going back down to super featherweight title contender, that being star boxer Christopher Little B Hot Primetime Colbert. 17 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 6 wins by way of knockout, 26 years of age, 5'8", with a 71-inch arm reach. Chris Colbert, he had a massive fight this past weekend where he took on lightweight star title contender in Jose Venezuela, who has 12 wins, 2 losses, no draw, 8 wins by way of knockout. One time in his career, he's knocked out 23 years of age, 5'10" with a 70-inch arm reach and a southpaw. They both was coming off losses and were trying to rebound and get their career back on track. Okay, their once promising careers back on track. In the sport of boxing, you lose one time, you can be X'd out, blackballed, and forgotten. So they was both trying to get their careers back on track. And this was a fight that Chris Colbert, he struggled in which 90% of the boxing world, they felt like Chris Colbert, he lost this fight against Jose Venezuela. But nonetheless, he got the decision, a unanimous decision victory. Now, leading up into this comeback fight for Chris Colbert, Errol Spence was calling out Chris Colbert to fight his fighter, okay, which is lightweight star title contender and Man Down Promotions fighter in Frank the Ghost Martin, who has 17 wins, no loss, no draw, 12 wins by way of knockout, 28 years of age, southpaw, 5'8" with a 68-inch arm reach. And there was a lot of talk. Chris Colbert was going back and forth with Errol Spence via social media. He was calling out Errol Spence, saying, let's make it happen. Errol Spence was calling out Chris Colbert, and the fight, it didn't materialize. It didn't pan out. And Chris Colbert, he said that PBC, Premier Boxing Champion, founder and advisor Al Heyman was offering him tune-up style fights, and he turned it down. He said that he wanted to have a tough fight, which was Jose Venezuela, who was coming off of a loss. And neither guy looked overly extraordinary in this fight. But you know, Chris Colbert was getting hurt multiple times. Chris Colbert got hurt in this fight badly by Jose Venezuela, El Rayo. OK, and so Errol Spence, he stated, you know, good thing you didn't take the fight with Frank Martin. Right, at 135. This was Chris Colbert's first fight at 135. So Errol Spence said, it's a good thing you didn't take this fight with Frank Martin, or you would essentially be in a bad way. Right. And Chris Colbert, he's letting it be known, I'm not competing at 135 anymore. So if Frank Martin wants to face me, he's going to have to come down to 130. If he comes down to 130, then we could get it shaken. But as of right now, I have no interest in fighting at 135 anymore. I'm moving back down to my weight class, right? Obviously, Errol Spence and many people feel like it's a duck, but it's not really a duck. I was surprised that Chris Colbert, coming off of a loss, jumped up to 135 to begin with and take this fight with El Rayo. That was shocking in itself, in my opinion, because he's just not a big puncher, right? He has 6 knockouts in total. You know, he's a slick boxer, and he, you know, he's a mover. But, you know, as of late, he's deciding to stand in the pocket, and he's getting clipped a lot. OK, and so as you can see in this clip, he gets clipped against El Rayo in this clip. Right now, Chris Colbert, he did do some good things, some counter punching. He did some very good things in his fight with El Rayo. He was counter punching him. But this is the highlight of the fight in the very beginning of the fight, when he got dropped by a left hook on the inside. And Errol Spence was saying it's a good thing from that point forward. Imagine if that was Frank Martin. And I said this, Frank Martin is too big, too strong for Chris Colbert. He just doesn't have enough to keep these fighters off of him and keep them honest, okay? He wouldn't have enough, in my opinion, for any of these fighters. And Chris Colbert, oddly enough, was talking up a fight with Shakur Stevenson, undefeated 2-division world champion, former unified super featherweight world champion, superstar boxer, in Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson, is 19 wins, no losses, no draw, 9 wins by way of knockout, 5'8" with a 68-inch arm. He's at 25 years of age. But Shakur Stevenson is a highly skilled, highly talented, high ring IQ, and he does have power. He has respectable power, and he's a very, very elusive, very slick fighter on the inside. So he is, a load to deal with. And he's sharp with his punches. He's sharp with his defense. He's very accurate with his punches. So when you put all of that into account, and you see in this fight, Chris Colbert was absolutely struggling to find the distance and the range with El Rayo, as well as El Rayo. El Rayo was struggling to find his range against Chris Colbert. They both look like professional amateurs, right? With the way that they was missing with their punches and the distance they was throwing their punches, and the miscalculations they was having in this fight. It just looked like they was both professional amateurs in this fight, if you ask me, right? So with that said, he didn't get the, El Rayo didn't get the nod, but, it was a competitive fight for sure. But I did lean towards El Rayo. But for Chris Colbert to fight Frank Martin, yeah, I think he gets stopped by Frank Martin. So he said he's dropping down. But drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all in one word. That's all I got for y'all, man. Would you want to see Frank Martin drop down to fight Chris Colbert at 130? Let me know what y'all think. Peace.